Once upon a time, a long time ago, all the animals and people lived happily together. But the people grew quickly in number and spread all over the earth. The animals began to feel crowded in their beautiful world. Soon the people made weapons and used them to hunt the animals for their hides and meat. The animals grew to hate and fear the people. It was no longer safe to wander through the woodlands as they had always done. At last came the day when they decided to fight back. All over the world, the animals gathered at the council, and they devised ways to defeat the people. Chief White Bear led the council of bears. They argued over many plans and schemes, but could agree on only one. The bears would use the people's own weapon, the bow, to destroy them. They brought out a bow and arrow left by some careless hunter in the forest. First we should see how this weapon is used, White Bear advised. I'll show you how, a young bear named Big Head laughed as he picked up the bow. He had seen men shooting arrows before. Aiming an arrow at a pumpkin a few yards away, he pulled back the arrow string and let go, but the string got caught in his long claws. The arrow wobbled in the air and fell to the ground. My claws are in the way, Big Head complained. I'll cut them off to try it again. This time the arrow split the pumpkin in two halves. The bears shouted with joy. They were ready to make bows and arrows and cut off all their claws. But above their cheering came a loud roar. Chief White Bear had something to say. Listen to yourselves, he cried. You would cut off your own claws to use a man's weapon. How will you dig for roots, or climb the wild honey trees? What good is it to kill the people with the bows if we go hungry and die? The bears had no answer. Sleepy and tired, they wandered away from the council grounds. The deer council wasted no time making their plan. They had discovered a terrible weapon. It was a sickness that would bring pain to the hunter each time he tried to move. The disease got into the knees, ankles, elbows, and shoulders, all the joints of the body. It had a name, rheumatism. All the fish and reptiles came together for a great council. They had plenty of reasons to seek revenge on human beings. The people speared the fish for food, and tormented the snakes and lizards with sticks and rocks. When it was time to build my nest, Catfish said, the young men of the village will not leave me alone. They grab me and pull me from my riverbank hole. From this day on, I will sting them with my sharp spines. I will bring dreams of raw fish, vowed Black Perch. They will lose their appetites for food, and they will weaken and die. My husband and I will visit the people in their dreams, hissed Copperhead. They will feel us coiled around their necks. Each time they close their eyes, they will feel our cold breath on their faces. The people will be afraid to go to sleep. They will stay awake until they are too weak to hunt us down. If a man injures my wife, I will be hiding nearby to strike him, Copperhead's husband swore. I will spread my poison around him, and he will turn against his friends and family. This is why human beings have dreams about fish and frightful snakes. We know to watch out for Copperhead's mate, for he is always near her, and the smell of his poison warns us to leave her in peace. Grubworm presided as chief of the birds and insects and all the small creatures of the earth. Everyone there was allowed to speak and to cast a vote. They would decide whether the people were guilty. If 7 guilty votes were counted, then the people would be punished. Frog jumped up and showed the spots on his back to the crowd. They call me ugly and kick me until I am covered with bumps, he said. I vote guilty. So do I, Bird agreed. The people roast off our feet and feathers over their cooking fires. We must punish them. The votes are counted, Grubworm announced. All but one vote guilty. Now we must decide what we will do to the people. The little creatures followed the example of the deer. They began at once to create new illnesses and diseases. They made coughs and colds and aches and pains. They made fevers and swellings and rashes and allergies. They did not stop working until there was enough sickness to destroy all the human beings living on Earth. Things were looking bad for people, as disease spread from village to village. The human race might be lost forever. All through the animal world, the story was passed from one to another. The people would soon be destroyed. All over the earth, the animals danced and sang and feasted. The people who lived in the Cherokee villages got sicker and sicker. No hunter could be found tracking animals through the woods. No hunter had the strength to pull the bowstring or throw the fishing gig. The hunters were first to come down with the diseases, and now all of them were sick. The women of the villages called a council among themselves to plan what must be done to save the people. Around their fire, each in turn told the story of the great sickness that had befallen their husbands and sons. but none knew the way to stop its spreading. The woman went back home with no decision. Beyond the firelight, eyes were watching the council with great interest. Now the animals knew that they had truly won. From above, another was watching and listening. Yellow Poplar immediately told his whole family about the women's council and the sickness among the people. They spread the word to all the other trees and plants who lived in the forest. The plants called a council of their own to decide what to do. "Keep in mind," said River Willow, chief of the council, "no animal has ever cared for us the way the people do." Sei Lu, the corn plant, stood up and said, "The people work the earth around my roots, and I grow tall and straight. They keep my seeds safe and dry over the winter, and my family prospers. I vote to save the people." After the voting, River Willow declared, "Everyone agrees. We will help the people overcome these new diseases. I will make medicine in my bark. When the people chew it, their pains and fevers will leave them. My white flower tops will take the poison from their wounds and insect bites," Yarrow pledged. Spearmint and Peppermint made leaves to be picked and boiled into a tea to cure ailments of the stomach. Dandelion made medicine flow from a yellow flower to her roots. Every bush, tree, vine, grass, mushroom, and moss created a healing remedy for some disease. Each plant in turn agreed, "Whenever the human beings call on me in their time of need, I shall appear to help them." That was how medicine came to the people. The ancient cures have been passed down through generations of healers. If our medicine people cannot find the cure a sick person needs, they can ask the spirits of the plants to tell them, and the answer will be given, just as they promised long ago.